Hey guys, just a quick message about this coronavirus thing. Please, can you just stop panic buying? There's no need to overreact.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Nagash, which is a channel dedicated to Age of Sigmar, and in this video just going to be a quick rundown of the Warhammer preview number 2, which is their online previews because of obviously COVID-19. Everything pretty much around the world is in lockdown, so all the previews are online. I covered their first preview last week, so this is going to be a quick rundown. So essentially what I'm going to do is just going to go down the article if you guys haven't already seen it or just want to chat about it, that sort of thing. And just sort of go through what they've been talking about over the last hour. So weirdly, they seem to have done it back to front on the article, so the latest things that are released are at the top rather than at the bottom, which was the opposite from last time. So what I'm going to do is just going to go all the way down to the bottom, and then we'll go the way it was released during the actual live preview. So the first thing they said is the Lunef stuff. So essentially there's going to be a big box coming out for them, which is like an army box. Think about things like, almost things like Soul Wars, Feast of Bones, that sort of thing, Carrion Empire. But this is just for, this is just for the Lunef Realm Lords. It kind of reminds me of like those old battalion boxes because it's bigger than a Start Collecting box. But anyway, let's go into the video that they've announced this in. So there we have it. So what it kind of reminds me of, to be honest, a bit more than the comparisons I was saying a little while ago, was the Sisters of Battle box set. Because what you get in it is also a limited edition battle tome. So for Sisters of Battle would have been the limited edition codex. And this makes me think, can you only get the limited edition battle tome for the Lunef Realm Lords in this box set? Because every other army for Age of Sigmar that's had a limited edition battle tome you can buy separately, not forced to buy a box set to get it. So it'd be interesting to see if they sort of trap you and having to buy this box set. Inevitably, if you really like the models in this box set and you're a big fan of Lunef Realm Lords, want to start an army of them, I don't know the price of this box set, but I reckon it's going to be probably at least £100, but realistically that's probably going to be quite good value, because if you also want the War Scroll cards, objective markers, tokens, those sorts of things, you get dice in this box. Yes, the dice are see-through, but they're not as bad see-through as the IDNF Deepkin ones, so, swings and roundabouts, but you also get the really cool hero in the box, which is, I don't know if that's Tyrion or not, or it's just someone who looks like Tyrion, basically the ghost guy in the armour, the invisible man. Okay, so let's read what they have to say about it. So it says, "We know you folks are incredibly excited about the new army, and we want to make getting started as simple and as fun as possible while celebrating the arrival of the Realm Lords, the spiritual successors of the High Elves from the world that was. This set contains fully customizable kits that let you build 10, gonna get this all pronouncing wrong, so Iron Wardens and 5 Vanera Dawn Riders, plus the light of Elfaranian, something like that. Anyway, giving you a great base to which you can add more troops or walking mountains if they're your thing. So talking about the big cow mountains, of course. So yeah, I do also wonder if this means that it's the only way to get the light of Elfaron, or however you pronounce it. Basically, like I said, a Tyrion guy, like we see in Carrion Empire and all these sorts of box sets. You could only buy like the Abhorrent Archregent from the Carrion Empire box set for an incredibly long time, to eventually they release them separately. I wonder if they're going to release this guy separately, or you're going to have to buy the box set, or if they're actually going to release the Spearman and the cavalry set blue, or you're going to have to just buy this whole box to get them. I don't think they'll do that so much for the spearmen and cavalry. I do think they could do it for the hero here, just because it'll be a way for them to make you buy the box if you're on the fence about it. The spearmen and cavalry maybe for a couple of weeks to sort of tempt you to get the box, but I can't see them doing that for long term. Just because by the sounds of things it's not easy to build kits, so they sound like they are multi-part kits for separate boxes, but we'll have to see. It then says there are loads of cool extras in the box, including cards for tracking your spells, a gem effect dice, tokens, a special combat gauge. The set will also be only way to grab the gorgeous limited edition battle tome. Okay, so what I was saying earlier is correct. That's the only way to get the limited edition battle tome, featuring a soft touch full art cover, gilt-edged pages, and a ribbon marker. Truly tome of wisdom worthy of Teclis himself. What they're trying to say there is exactly like all the other limited edition battle tomes, where if you're looking at it from a money perspective, it's absolutely not worth double the price. That book is not worth double the price of a normal battle tome at all, not in the slightest. In complete honesty, is there a picture of it? Can we get a picture up here? Let's see if we can get a picture. Must be able to. Okay, they've got pictures of the dice, but no picture of the book. That's weird. They're trying to make that a main selling point. Anyway, yeah. The book is limited edition battle tomes, not worth it at all. If you're looking for a money point, if you really are in love with the army and you are this is gonna be one of your main armies and you just love it, then I would say get a limited battle tome, because then it will mean it's worth it to you. I mean, I've got like 4 of the limited edition battle tomes, so I'm not being a hypocrite by saying they're not worth it, and then I have loads. I'm just saying if you're looking at it only from like a money perspective, like what I'm actually going to get for double the price, it's not a lot. It's mainly just like the feel of having a nice book, essentially, for an army that you really do like. And then here are just some better pictures. So I think he's a captain of the spearmen. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, he's just the captain of the spearmen. He's obviously the ghost man guy, who I've forgotten his name. Tokens, which are they could have came up with some different designs instead of just printing that one loads of times. And this, I feel like that's from the Firestorm campaign, that token. But anyway, right, and then dice, which aren't the worst dice. Yellow is a bit of a, these guys kind of, they generally go for the main colour of the army. So I thought white and blue would be really nice. Like, you can see on their shields here, that'd be really cool. But they've gone for yellow and black, which is interesting. So there we are. That's these guys. Then we also had a look to see one of their what might be battle traits by the looks of things, and this is called lightning reactions, which did seem very powerful. So it says during the combat phase, when it is your turn to pick a unit to fight, you can pick 2 eligible units instead of 1. If you do so, each of those units can fight one after the other in order of your choice. So it says this is an army that rewards timing and tactical planning, as well as featuring a spiritual successor to the always strikes first rule that defined Warhammer Elf armies of old. By activating 2 units at a time, you'll be able to launch devastating coordinated attacks before your opponent has a chance to respond, while a suite of Ether Quad's abilities let you adapt to your strategy on the fly. And it says, and that's just a small peek at what you can expect coming from them in their battle tone. Right, so what I will say about this is I think it's very powerful. I don't like it personally, and I am someone who have played Flesh Eater Courts, who has the Feeding Frenzy, so again it sounds very hypocritical, but that's why I don't really play Flesh Eater Courts these days, because I don't like those abilities. I don't like abilities that just make it not really fun for your opponent. It just feels like they're not playing the game on the same level as you. Don't get me wrong, if you take this up against the Slaanesh army, the Slaanesh army is absolutely horrendous how it can basically attack with its entire army before you can, if it's all keepers and everything else. And I know that they have nerfed it a bit, but still very powerful. And Flesh Eater Courts, they can sort of pile and attack you twice. There are other things that can do it very well also. And then it's almost like this is the Luminous Realm Lords version of that, to try and make sure that they can be a top tier competitive army from what I can see. But I just think these sorts of rules just make it not very interactive for your opponent, and this is the sort of rule that would make people complain about this army if they fought against it. And it's like, yeah, I fought against this army, but he attacked me. Every time he attacked me, it was attacking me with double the amount of stuff that I had, so it just didn't really feel like a fair game. And I know, against certain armies, they need this, if they want to try and compete against the top tier armies. So I think the top tier armies that doing so well in Age of Sigmar, I think it's because they're broken, overpowered, rather than, it being a nice, fair army and a great general leading it. And there are some great generals, but, I think, like when Sinesh was a massive thing when that first came out, he unites Sinesh. It's the army 100%. I don't give a shit. It could be a really good person playing that army, but it's still the army that's making them win those games. And I feel like instead of Lumineth Realm Lords having to be up there to try and take on those really powerful broken armies, I think that they should just nerf the top armies a little bit. And I'm a Flesh Eater Court player. I don't really play it since they got broken, but I do really like the army, and that's why I'm annoyed with it a little bit, just because I feel like they're too powerful. And Flesh Eater Courts isn't the greatest example. Like I say, I think Sinesh or maybe even Zeech a little bit. So I feel like this is, again, it's keeping up with the power creep, but I'm not a massive fan of this. But who knows, when we see the rules for the units and stuff, the units might not be massively powerful. So it might be, okay, so that's fair enough. So this is why they can attack first, because, like I say, they are getting from the High Elves of old, where they need to attack first because they have got horrendous saves where they are glass cannons, and this is their thing. They need to be able to hit first, otherwise they're dead. But I doubt that, because they look quite well armoured, if I'm honest. But like I said, I'm trying not to be too negative on it, because there might be things to see. If you really like this army, yeah, that's really cool. I just think that that's a rule that, again, points the game in the wrong direction. That's my honest opinion of it. So that's all I've got to say. But yeah, so I think this also concludes no more models for the Lumineth Realm Lords, which I don't really care too much about the army, so I'm happy with that, in all honesty. There's a couple of nice things I'll be taking for this army for Bits Box, but I'm happy to leave them there, to be honest. And if you really do want to start the army, this looks to be a good way for you to do it, but I reckon it's going to be about £100, so just bear that in mind at least. Right, okay, then the next thing is a couple of Horus Heresy characters, or just models coming out, which are basically very high ranking generals for the Word Bearers. And this is a very quick review I'm doing of these guys, because I don't know loads about it, but they look very cool. Looks like, got a guy in Terminator armor here and a guy in Power armor here. They could be really cool for using for, I know most of you be 40k players if you are interested in these, so they could be really cool for 40k. I know a new Chaos Dawn Terminator armor, who is for a World Bearers army, would be nice. And the guy in Power armor. From what I know about 40k, the World Bearers don't really have much of a range at all, from what I understand, so it's nice for them to get some new models. Yeah, that's cool. I like these models as well. I just don't know how they would fit into what I'm doing though. But yeah, that's cool. And if you like Horus Heresy, then it's new models for you, so that's good. Again, I'm going to be very quick about Blood Bowl, because I'm not a Blood Bowl player. But essentially what we got is a treatment coming out for Blood Bowl, which can be used for your Halflings team and your Wood Elves team. The main cool, I think it's quite nice. I think it's quite catchful. It's quite light-hearted, this model. I don't think it's particularly evil. Like, we've got like the Wood Elf one that looks a little bit more sinister, I'd say, than the Halfling one. Being from Athelloran and all that sort of thing, it just tends to be a bit more darker. But the best thing about all this is the squirrel. We have got a squirrel here who's got an acorn, which is half the size of him. He's got a fist. He's a very angry squirrel. He's a red squirrel as well. So he's British, I'd say, or Scottish or whatever. So yeah, that's cool. I like this. I can see some people buying it just for the squirrel. So that's good. Right, okay, now moving up. So there's a little video here. I'm not going to play it just because you can go onto YouTube or whatever and watch this. Because I don't do anything to do with Blood Bowl, so I just have enough to add. The next one we've got is a couple new models coming out for Lord of the Rings, which is going to be, I don't remember the names, and can I quickly find where the names are? Madriel and Damrond. I don't want to muck up my lore for Lord of the Rings. I do love Lord of the Rings, but I don't know. I can't remember all the names. Essentially, what we got is Faramir's, a couple of his best rangers here. Like this is the main guy. I think this is the guy. I'm going to get this massively wrong, but I think this is the guy where what's the general of the Mordor army when they siege Minas Tirith? Anyway, they take Osgiliath and they stab this guy in the chest with a spear and says, "The time of man is over. The time of the orc has begun." I think that's who he is, judging by the looks. Don't really know who this guy is too much, but there we go. I'm going to stop embarrassing everyone here by my butchery of the lore of a much-loved trilogy. So, the other thing is you have the Quest of the Ringbearer, which is something else for Middle-earth, which is cool because, like I say, I don't play Middle-earth strategy battle game, but I'm very happy to see them get new stuff because they don't have loads of new things, so it's always nice, and it's my favourite trilogy, like I say. So Quest of the Ringbearer, I think it's just a other story arc for you to make your games a bit more narrative, adds in a couple of characters, as in terms of models, i.e. these guys, and I think it's adding some more game profiles and all that sort of thing. So if you are a fan of Middle-earth strategy battle game, it's something you want to look into, and it's like the new expansion for the game, as far as I'm aware. Right, okay, and then the next thing, which the problem is because essentially, okay, this is ruining everything. So essentially, because they did the first stuff they announced at the bottom of the page, and then made your way up, it's very different than normal, so it means that I have to screw up to try and keep everything in order, so just bear that in mind. Like I said, I can't really edit these videos, so apologies if the quality is not great. Anyway, on to the Story Forge, which is like their animation team for things like anime and TV series and all that sort of thing. Very new, which Games Workshop is branched into. And the big thing they gave away here is there is a long climactic trailer for Angels of Death, which is the Blood Angels versus like Tyranids animation with a sort of like grayscale with very big spots of red to sort of really highlight the Blood Angels in it, like very sort of arty style, which I do quite like. So we'll go into that. We'll just read this little sentence here, which says, so we're going to go out on a limb here and assume that you folks love Space Marines, massive gribblies and colossal space battles. Good news, the latest Angels of Death trailer has all three. Okay, and like I say, I do like some 40k stuff, like I'm starting like a Knight's Army, that sort of thing, but it's not my main game, so I don't focus it on too much, but I am a big fan of these animations they're bringing out, so I will play all the videos and stuff for this. Okay, so with no further ado, let's go on to the trailer.
The evening victory will likely meet our end here.
Then our duty is done.
Okay, so I'm going to read to see what they have to say about it, and then I'll sort of talk on my feelings about the trailer. So it says the Warhammer Story Forge and the Angels of Death team have been working tirelessly to ensure that the series brings all the epic gritty darkness and sheer awesomeness of Warhammer 40,000 to life on this screen. So just a look at those Tyranids. So then we have some pictures here again, which, yep, okay, so a twisted mill, they go around. So we got this one, big, I have no idea what these names of ships called here. Big Space Marine ship, there we go, big Blood Angel ship, right, and then a big colossal Tyranid coming at it from behind, by the looks of things. Next picture. Again, don't know what this is called. The thing that drops off your HQ building in the original Warhammer Dawn of War series for the Space Marines. That ship flying over here. Anyway, very, very nicely done. I don't want to talk too much because I'm just going to butcher everything. The commander of the... Is it called Strike Cruiser? That massive ship, Strike Cruiser? That's probably wrong. Anyway, so the commander of the Blood Angels fleet, what is things? Was it Silver Dawn? I'm trying to remember from the Sword of Baal, is it? I'm trying to remember from the earlier series what they called it. Anyway, and then we have a Space Marine officer, presumably, with his hand on a table here. But his things very, very stern. What happens when an Imperial battleship, just going to call it, comes in collision with a Tyranid. Anyway, you can see that I'm butchering all the lore, and I don't really want to do that. So, my thoughts on all of this says... Okay, anyway, it says, just why the Blood Angels are battling in space. How cool is the Blood Angels ship commander? Okay, that's what she's called. When will you get to see more? Stay tuned here on Warhammer Storyforge Instagram page. Suggest you follow that if you do like it. I haven't followed it yet, but I will do to make sure I keep up to date with all the news because I think it's very cool. It says Angels of Death isn't the... Okay, so before we move on to the next thing, okay, will it let me just go up or do I have to scroll through? Okay. Right, about this, my personal thoughts are, firstly, when I watched it, I was like, this could equally just be a trailer for Battlefleet Gothic 2, which is a very fun game. I see where they got their sort of the models they based their designs on and everything, just for the ship battles. Looks very much like that. Very cool that it's Blood Angels. Obviously, we knew it was going to be Blood Angels for a while because they basically told us that ages ago. So my second favourite chapter was Space Marines. My first favourite is like a successor chapter, which are the Black Templars, because I think they are absolutely awesome. With these guys. Now, I'm a little bit two ways though of the design of the animation. Like at first I did say I really do like it. I love the grayscale and everything. I don't know if it's just because this has been streamed so the quality is not fantastic, but it can look a little bit blurry as it did for me. I don't know if it's meant to be like that, but it did. When you have the bright red of the Blood Angels with just the grey black background, that does look cool. But these are like half an hour episodes or something. It's quite a lot of offset and colour, but I don't know if it's the streaming and like when you actually watch it properly, the edges are just going to feel like more sharper detailed rather than all sort of a bit like you can see in this picture here. It does look very. I know we've got like a bright light behind it. I just want it to be a bit more easier on the eyes. But I do like the grayscale. I feel like this looks sharper, as you can see here. The lines look a bit more sharper than. If you go back to, it just looks a bit blurry around here and stuff. So, but I think that just might be the lighting. And in a big, ship battle is going to be a bit more. You got all the, ammunition going around here, all the shots being fired, explosions. So it's going to be like that. Everything moving faster. But I really do applaud the people who have made this because it cannot be an easy job to do. Doing that animation, really, really is cool, and that's the best trailer we've seen for these guys. And I can't wait to watch this, really. So cool. And then on to the next thing. It says, Angels of Death isn't the only project in the works right now. The Warhammer universe are amazing. Universes are amazing. Diverse places. And the Storyforge team are exploring all sorts of art and animation styles. So if you fancy a tease of things yet to come, check out the amazing frame from a forthcoming project in a very different style. So if you can see, here is a Sister of Battle, and the detail on this is amazing. Like, I almost feel like this is years away, or this is going to be a very short one-off, like half an hour episode maybe, because like keeping up this detail, it's almost like it's like film quality. without knowing all the technical terms. Like you can even see like all the sort of like dimples in the skin and all that's from like where all the hairs are and all that sort of thing. You've got a massive, really good scar here. You've got the dry little blood. It is really well done. It says how incredible, lifelike is this shot. It's really amazing. It's from something I expect from like a massive film company sort of thing. So the matted blood and faded tattoo. Check out the aging on the scar besetting her top lip. Speaking of her, our subject is clearly a sister of battle. The clues in the iconic haircut and tattoo, but who or what is she fighting? Then it says there is something else to look at, and this is the head of a space marine, which it says feel free to speculate about all these they've announced that this is the head of a space marine, but you can tell from all the studs and everything. And that again, like look at the just the hair follicles and everything. It's just really like the veins. This is you can tell that this is like their best. This will be the best detail animations they do. I mean, that is really, it's like a really good video game or something like that. It's very cool, and it's very cool to see, lifelike images of some of our favourite characters and models from the game that we love of Warhammer, rather than just seeing artwork and everything else. This is really, really cool. It's great. So this is the animation stuff. The only thing I wonder about the animation stuff is, for example, with this, the Angels of Death, they've dropped 2 Pacific trailers, but they also did, do their teaser trailer in their like animation trailer where they showed off a few of their animation styles back in 2019. And then I thought with their second trailer we would maybe get a release date, or if not a release date, a release month. And I understand everything going on in the world, that may be putting everything on risk when they're not too sure when things are going to get released. But I thought, or they could, if not a month, just say like, I don't know, autumn, or if you're from America, fall 2020, rather than just saying this is coming out in 2020, because that we are, 4 months into 2020 now. So just for a little bit more clarity would be nice. But there we are. And the only other thing I'm thinking about all this is how are they going to show it? How are they going to showcase all their animations? For example, are they going to stream them on Warhammer Live on Twitch? I doubt that. Are they going to put them on YouTube? I doubt that, because they'll need to find a way to, and there might be a way for them to be able to do it on YouTube, but just a way to charge people. They're not going to let people watch all this for free. I can almost guarantee that. Or the other thing I was sort of thinking about is if they put it on a streaming service like Netflix or Amazon, they could do maybe. But like, I don't know, maybe things like Netflix would be on the line of they haven't really seen any other media from Games Workshop in terms of like TV and film, so they don't know if it will work, so they don't really want to take it on. And the same with Amazon, maybe. But I was thinking that because they've said they're going to do a partnership with Marvel, didn't they? Marvel Comics, and obviously that's owned by Disney. Maybe it could be something on Disney Plus, which I think sounds a bit like a left field suggestion of what they could be doing, but I don't know how else they're going to do it, or they're going to make their own website. But that again is expensive, I can imagine. So it'll be interesting to see how we can watch this when it all happens, because it's all great and stuff like going like, oh, I can't wait for this to come out. But if this is all going to cost, an extra £10 a month or something, and you only get like 2 episodes a month because they haven't got loads of things straight away to put on there, it's quite expensive. Because I don't think these episodes are going to be particularly long, because how much is it from? If it is purely Games Workshop that is making all these animations, it costs an absolute fortune. So that, it's not going to be like, I can't imagine Angels of Death is going to be like a 30-hour long series or something, Anyway, I'm really excited about all this, and I will follow them on Instagram to try and keep up on the news and that. Right, so something a bit more for us again, which is going to be Age of Sigmar. And these are the giants coming out. So it says a giant tease. Something big has come in, like really, really big. Something thought to be only a fairy tale. So essentially what this is, I'll be honest, there's no pictures of new models coming out, but there's hints of new models to come. So watch the trailer.
Be good, little one, or the Guardians will come to get you. Little girls who steal get chomped by the Kraken Eater. Little boys who shout and cry get stomped on by the War Stomper. And those who try to hide from the Gargants get smashed by the Gate Breaker. Be good, little one. Not that it will help.
So those are the sons of Behemat, or I'm just going to call them Behemat because some of them are El Guzzlers and it's just a name that's going to stick in my head. So the Behemat giants. Right, so they had one called like the Kraken Eater, one called like the War Stomper, and one called like the Gate Breaker, something like that. And you can see like they're the different elements they're going to go down. Is it going to be a battle zone where there are 3 like sub-allegiances where you've got like the sea ones, which are like the Kraken Eater, and they're all going to have like barnacles on them and look a little bit something like the Vampire Coast? That'd be cool. As the War Stomper are going to be one that's more, I don't know, it's harder to think of a theme for that one. It has very nice shoes, maybe it's got Nike trainers or like Timberland boots would be quite cool to see. They're very different. And then the third one, which is the Gatebreaker, is it going to be like the normal giant? I don't know. All I know is like the Kraken Eater one is the easiest one to sort of say will be a bit different. What I really hope from all of this is we're going to get some giants that aren't just humanoid. There are going to be like things a bit like the Basilisk, can I say that word right? And different sort of monsters like Meerworm and all these sorts of things. Like a lot of the monsters that were taken away from Forge World, from like the Monstrous Arcanum, they were taken away and just basically got rid of. Are we going to see kind of replacements for them in the Sons of Behemoth? Because I think, it's not even Behemoth, is it? Was it? Just call it Behemoth, it's easier, isn't it? Sons of Behemoth. I think that'd be cool, right? If it's just lots of different giants, it's going to be like ogres but bigger. And I like ogres, but I'm just like, it just doesn't feel that, you know. I can see why some people like it, but I feel like the army's a bit. It's, you know, if you've got an army that's just big models, that's cool. But if it's just like big models that look exactly the same, I know like you can look at a lot of Gristle armies, Terrorgeist, and just go, well, that's an army of like 5 models. And yes, it basically is. But for like a brand new army, I would like them to put the extra effort, like, I don't know, see like massive warhounds or something the size of a house. Be very, very cool to see, my honest opinion. And Behemat as well. So basically what he was is he is a god beast, basically a giant the size of a mountain range, and these are his descendants kind of from that. What I really wanted to see a model here, a little tease. I think that would have been nice, rather than just an animation trailer. And don't get wrong, all these animation trailers are cool, and like this one again was nice. That it's done like a storybook, like, you know, Brothers Grimm sort of tales, those sort of things. I think it's quite cool. I just think it's like a nice adaptation way for them to do it. But I think just a little hint of a model would be nice, because I'll go through it again. I'll mute it this time. And essentially what you want to do is you want to look on the left side of the page, because so actually we go, because it doesn't stay over for long, so we go here. This is the best way to do it. So we have got the Kraken Eater here, who is holding a ship. So is that what the pardon me, is that what the model could look like? That could got a purse for it. Like, that could be cool. We've got this guy, so he's a foot stomper. I thought he would be the foot stomper because he's the second one, but no, he will be the gate breaker, because he's got like a trellis, a gate thing there. It's got a branch that looks very much like the tree you get for Standard Giant. And then we have the Gatebreaker one. He looks a bit more armoured, and then has a club that looks very much like one of the clubs you can get in the Giant Kit already. I really hope they're not just going to fucking say, right, you can build the Giant Kit in 5 different ways, and it's got 5 different war scrolls. What a fucking lazy release that would be. That would be even more like, I feel like even more kind of lazy than Seraphon, but I'm still got a very bitter heart about that. But anyway, so these are the sort of 3 we can get. What I was going to say, if you look on the left side of the pages, you do get like a so for example here we've got the Kraken Eater, and then you get like sort of a close up of the Kraken Eater here, and then you get that as well for the Stomper guy, and then for the Gate Breaker. What I would quite like is for the giants to not look so like fun in, like, you know, your typical sort of fantasy giant. I'd like them if they look quite dark, quite sinister, quite creepy. sort of, you know, like Soulless Eyes would be quite good. Something I've just recently started watching, it's in a couple episodes so far, is Attack on Titan, which is a Netflix series of an anime, which I'm not a massive an anime, but I thought I'd give it a go. And it's basically humans trying to survive in a big walled off zone against giants that are just very creepy and sinister, and they've got like big smiling faces and like soulless eyes. Would be cool if they did something similar like that here. So that's pretty much what I've been saying there. And then, okay, so they have like a comic book coming out. Don't really know too much about this. Essentially, you've got a sister of battle here who's like a living weapon, they said. And then she's got a good friend of hers who is trying to find where the picture... Okay, so there we go. The sister of battle here is like a living weapon. That's how they describe her. And then her like sidekick here who tries to help is like a harlequin fellow of a clan that's dying. Something like that. Trying to remember very shaky details. Comic book looks quite cool. And then the Psychic Awakening is the next part where you're going to get these guys, from what I can see. Probably going to time to release that comic book. That's all I really know about that. I'm not going to play a trailer because I don't really cover this stuff too much. And the only last thing to say to you guys is a promotion which Games Workshop is doing, which is if you buy a £50 voucher, they will give you, or whatever your, you know, national currency is, whatever the equivalent of £50 is, they will give you £5 on top of that voucher for free. So essentially, they'll give you an extra 10% of what you're buying on top. And the reason why they're doing that is because they're saying, essentially, we're all in lockdown at the moment, but if you want to, you know, put some resources towards a new army you want to do soon, as soon as everything, the world's back to normal, boom, you're going to have your voucher. Games Workshop's giving you a little bit on top, so something to start you off by, start collecting box, that sort of thing. Obviously, Games Workshop is mainly doing this because they don't really have a massive source of currency right now, like, really, because you can't order stuff from their site. And they are still paying their staff, like the community team and all these sorts of things. So they need to have some source of income. So that's why they want you to buy vouchers, so Games Workshop gets money. But, you know, so it's not, you know, like completely Games Workshop, oh, I have, you know, there's no reason why we're doing this. They really want money. But at the end of the day, we do want to support Games Workshop. They make some awesome models. So they make all the models I buy in a hobby that I absolutely love. And if they want to give me an extra £5 when I spend 50 quid, I'm not going to say no, and I'm going to thank them. So it's a nice thing you want to do. If I will probably, before all this is over, I'll probably spend £50 just to get £5 extra. I mean, why not if you're going to spend the money anyway in Games Workshop? So yeah, that's a nice little thing. It's an Archon as well, I imagine, from the armor style. So there we go, guys. So that is, again, it's just a very quick rundown for you guys in case you missed it, or you just wanted to hear my thoughts about it. I thought I'd tell you, as you liked the first episode. And apologies if the quality is not fantastic. It's just because basically when I do like screen recording, it can't be edited as such. So it's just one continuous take. So when I do make a mishap, I can't edit that out. So, like I say, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please like, subscribe, and comment down below. So that does all massively help me. Massive shout out to my patrons as well, who are doing a great job making me be able to make as many videos and bring them to you guys as much as I can. Massive shout out to all of them. They're doing a great, fantastic job for the channel. And last thing you really say, guys, is stay safe. The weather in the UK right now is very tempting to go outside. Apart from, you know, like the one form of exercise and everything else today. Please just stay inside as much as you can, because it just defeats the object. And, you know, the longer, you know, people fucking go against government rules and all that sort of thing, that's just the longer this is going to go on for. So, yeah. Everyone's all in it together. Stay safe, guys. Wash your hands. And remember, until next time, Nagash is all, and all is one in Nagash.